you're dealing with NIL, you're dealing with family, you're dealing with friends, you're dealing with social. These guys are 18 years old. So they have to be able to make great life decisions. They have to be able to make decisions on the fly.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Talk at Elevation. I'm Mikayla, joined by Adisyn, and today we are joined by Travis Taylor from the University of Tennessee, where he works in player development with a major focus on football and recruiting. In today's episode, we're diving into what really happens in the offseason, especially when it comes to recruiting, onboarding new players, and preparing for athletes for the next level. We're also going to talk about the decisions student athletes and parents are making right now that could shape their future in ways they may not even realize. Travis, thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today and actually get to talk about the new landscape and where college athletics and college football is shifting. So glad to be here with you guys.
Yes, awesome. And we're excited to learn about it.
Heck yeah. So Travis, for people that don't really know that much about player development, what does that look like at Tennessee?
Oh man, it's honestly it's evolved into a role that you kind of serve the entire organization when it pertains to the student athletes. So I mean, we're talking leadership, we're talking NIL, we're talking financial literacy, we're talking about transition, onboarding, making sure that these guys understand what they're walking into, understand that they are now university employees, and understand that they have to be process driven in order to have success at this level now. So the job description mainly focuses on, those things of leadership and helping guys become the best version of them. And at the same time, there's a lot of other intangibles that have been added to it now, with parents, onboarding parents as well, onboarding the entire family, onboarding not just kids, making sure that the parents understand the process, the parents understand what's going on as well, because ultimately, that is who's going to be making a lot of the decisions of what I've been seeing. And also now you started to see agents kind of creep their way into the conversations of onboarding and things of those sorts as well. So a forever changing landscape, but the ultimate goal, the ultimate mission is to make these guys better versions of themselves from a holistical standpoint and prepare them for life after college.
And what does that shift look like in the off season?
Well, we just it's shifting it from an onboarding standpoint. We just onboarded 52 new players. And I'm talking about that is the highest number, I think one of the highest number, if not the highest number in Tennessee football history. Definitely the highest number that I've ever been a part of, right? So you got 52 new dudes transitioning into the program. That's 52 new families as well. So it's a lot of moving parts. There's still individuals in the building that a lot of our staff don't necessarily know by name. But because of that transition and just they coming right in to go to work. But it looks a lot different from what it traditionally used to look like. You traditionally used to have maybe 15 to 20 freshmen coming in during that December time period and getting them acclimated to your program from a cultural standpoint, workout standpoint, and so on and so forth. But now rosters are turning over. The transfer portal is alive and well, and teams are taking advantage of it. And it almost mirrors an NFL free agency type of transition to where these guys are coming in and they're getting to work right away. So there's limited time for team building, team bonding. There's limited time for, onboarding and transitioning these guys in to kind of understand what the culture is. You got to meet them halfway. And you have to bring that culture to them and you have to interject it on them versus them interjecting themselves into it. So it looks different, but again, if you want to win, you got to be able to stay current with the times. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to stay current with what's going on and fit your roster and fit your needs so that you can have success.
Wow, sure. That seems crazy. I couldn't imagine being one of those athletes.
Yeah, no.
Everything's just like thrown at them. Boom, boom.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, we're hitting the ground running. Classes started like I think January the 20th. Yeah. These dudes were working out the 21st. And starting classes at the same time. Let's not forget about the most important piece that I think a lot of not, I won't say a lot of people, but I think a lot of light is not getting shed on it. But, they're still students,
exactly.
And they're still the most important part of the academic piece being there. But again, this thing is shifting to, it looks a lot like waiver transfer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to be a student to be an athlete, right?
Yep.
I couldn't hear you. What you
have
say?
To be a student to be an athlete in the first place.
That's right. That's right. And I hope it stays that way. I really do. I hope it stays that way.
Well, speaking of these student athletes, you've mentioned before that decisions have an impact and that people are evaluating the whole person, not just an athlete.
Right,
What kind of decisions are we
right.
talking about here?
You're talking about these guys being able to make decisions that life decisions. You have to. I mean, you're dealing with NIL, you're dealing with family, you're dealing with friends, you're dealing with social. These guys are 18 years old, so they have to be able to make great life decisions. They have to be able to make decisions on the fly. My best thing where I see a lot of parents and where I see a lot of student athletes have success at is they're already have their plan in place before they get into this thing. Like, hey, this is what we're going to do with this. This is how we're going to approach this. We already have this covered, and embrace the programs as well. So, from a decision standpoint, understand your money, understand what you're doing, understand your job as a student athlete, and what coaches and staffs are asking of you. And I think you need to be process driven. You need to understand that there will be a process that you'll have to follow, and make your decisions based off of that. I think a lot of student athletes, like right now, from 18 to 19 years of age, they got to take the whole don't focus so much on NIL, right? I know that's the big piece. I know that's what everybody is chasing. I know those are the things that people want to be around. But again, you need to recruit the programs. You need to go where you're liked. You need to go where you're being recruited at, and you need to understand that yeah, NIL is now, but you want to make sure you have a home 10, 15 years from now, and can come back to a school as an alumni,
Mhm.
and take advantage of services, alumni services. We got some guys that are bouncing around from different schools, and they're chasing things, and now 4 or 5 years of what buying you got a degree, right? But you don't have the
Right. A
relationships.
home.
You don't have those foundational root relationships that can turn into jobs later on down the line, that can turn into resources and success for yourself. So I think more than ever, you got to sit down now and you got to really look at the process and really find out what you want. And if it's NIL, I think you're mistaken, and you're going to be disappointed, because what's going to happen is that if that's your main feat, if that's what you're chasing, right, that can always fluctuate and change. So you'll be forever chasing that.
Before we move on, let's talk about something every serious athlete needs to pay attention to: your digital footprint. Fanday Nation has just released a powerful new tool to help athletes make sure their social media profiles are fully optimized and recruit ready. Today, coaches aren't just evaluating game film, they're evaluating character, leadership, and maturity online. This resource gives you a step-by-step roadmap to clean up your profiles, highlight your strengths, and avoid common mistakes that can cost opportunities. If playing at the next level is your goal, don't leave your online presence to chance. Go check it out now at fandaynation.com.
Wow, that's a really good point. We interviewed an athlete at CSU and she played there all 4 years. So she really talked about the relationship she got to build in a home and everything.
No, you can't beat it. They're
Mhm.
lifelong. And she's going to be able to benefit from that. She's going to be able to, when she's my age, 35, 36, lean on those fruitful relationships that she built early on for later. So kudos to her, and hanging around for 4 years. And some may say, well, if they don't like it, they need to leave. I understand that, but at the same time,
You
right?
gotta build a
We got to
foundation.
make sure we're leaving.
Yeah.
We got to make sure we're leaving for the right
Mhm.
reason.
Yeah.
Like, I understand transfers are going to happen, but we got to make sure we're leaving for the right reason and not the wrong reason, because the wrong reason will hurt you later on, not now.
Yeah, for
Well
sure.
said. Well said. What advice would you give, Travis, to parents navigating the system, and what does like a healthy support system look like?
Um, One of the first things I'm going to say is ask questions, right? Ask questions. Don't go through this process. Time and time again, I see parents go through this process and they don't know anything.
Mm.
They don't know what. Oh, well, what's this supposed to happen? Like for myself, I'm big on information and transparency. I have 6 to 7 Zoom calls per semester just with parents,
Wow.
informing them on the process of what it looks like, what the NIL looks like, what the onboarding process looks like. What does he need for the dorm? What does he need for the apartment? Whatever. What's the first day going to look like? Shop records, immunization record. We build that relationship and handle a lot of those process things on the front end. here, and it's helped us, right? But I've seen, even when we do this, there's times where parents are just out of the loop on things, and that's not the way to be, because your kid's 17, 18 years of age, and there's a lot coming at them, right? So the first thing I would say is be in tune. Be in tune, attend the meetings, attend the Zoom calls, attend the visits, ask questions, come prepared. Treat this as an interview process for yourself and your family. The second thing I would say is be realistic. Let's be realistic, right? And I'm not shooting down anybody's dreams. I'm not telling anybody what they can and can't do, right? But all I'm saying is we have to be realistic for your situation, what's surrounding your situation, and what's the outcome of that. Let's be realistic. You know where you stack up against. You know where you're able to play and where you're not able to play at. So let's make sure that, again, we go where we're liked, we go where we're treated well, we go where we're loved, because that's where you're going to ultimately get the most success and get the most benefit from. And then third, again, you have to be prepared as a family and as a student athlete, right? Because it's a lot that's going to come at you from a financial standpoint, from everything that's going on with the programs and the processes and coaching and things of those sorts. So from that standpoint, have a plan on your end. Make sure your character's intact, right? Make sure your social media is clean. You as the parent, you're a representation of the student athlete as well. So make sure that you keep that in the back of your head, and understand that you guys are a brand, and you're a brand. You need to know what you want as a brand. You need to know who you stand for as a brand, because all those things are going to help you navigate the space and make better decisions on the back end.
Yeah. Parents are just a huge part of the recruiting process in general.
It's a
Yeah.
huge part. You don't, you only see the athlete,
Mhm.
right? You only see the athlete. You only see the student athlete and the 5-star, the 4 stars, the 3 stars, right? But the support system behind that is what really makes or break that
Yeah.
person. I'm telling you, and I've seen it. I've seen good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. And you know, if that support system isn't strong, and what do I mean by the support system being strong? A strong support system doesn't equate just being there. The strong support system is educating them on the front end of things, the differences between the colleges, educating them on the majors, educating them on the whole process. Let's not just look at now. Let's plan. When you go to this school and you major in this, if we take football out of the equation, what are we doing?
Mhm.
That's how I tell a lot of families. That's how you set your plan for success. So just take football out of the equation and build your plan around that. Because now you have a solid plan, right? Without any hopes or dreams, right? And you're able to execute those things.
Absolutely, for sure. Moving on to the athlete side of things, I know you talked a little bit about it earlier, but what does being prepared truly mean for a student athlete to come into a new program?
Um, it can mean several different things. There's no end all be all, but I will say this, right? It means being flexible and open to change. It means being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mhm.
It also means being a great listener. You don't know everything, right? Be a great listener. And it also means buying into the program. As much as we want to say this thing is transactional, it's not. It's not, because a lot of times, but when you fully buy into a program, when you fully buy into what the university has to offer and things of those sort, you'll fully be prepared. You'll fully be prepared for your opportunity and what's ever coming around there, right? So besides all the need to know things and having good grades and doing those things, make sure your character's intact.
Mhm.
Because more than ever now, you're tied to brands, you're tied to revenue sharing, which is tied to other people's money. You know what I mean? So they're gonna want to know what they're investing in. So now more than ever, it's time to get your brands intact. It's time to have plans in place. Be strong academically, but be open to change, be open to work, and understand that, hey, you're expected to do something. You got to show up on time. How do you show up every day is going to determine what this thing looks like on the back end. So be ready to work and show up and give your all and just be into the program. Buy into the program from a holistic standpoint.
We're proud to celebrate women who lead on and off the court. Nikostones welcomes new brand ambassador Sophie Zadel, a standout basketball player at the University of Colorado. Her exclusive edits is all about confidence, strength, and the style that moves with you. Support women in sports and shop Sophie's limited collection now at Nikostones.com. Travis, with all these, would you say 52 players coming in this past season? Yeah. With all these different people and all these different faces, how do you guys maintain a culture?
You gotta, one of the things you have to do when you have that much turnover and you have new people coming in and coming in and coming in, is you gotta forge that unity. You can't force it, right? So you gotta build your structure and how your day-to-day outflows with that unity. And we do a lot of crossover things as well, where we mix and mingle our players with different dinners and things of that sort to happen. But it's all going to be in the structure of how you're working out, how you're navigating through the day. We build that culture through how we intermingle our guys. We build that culture how we do some of the programming outside of the facility, that they're grouping them together. And we keep them really close together. We keep them very close together. We just unleashed a big new game room, a big new players lounge at Tennessee that it has like maybe 8 gaming systems in it, a bowling alley,
That's
sleep
fun.
pods. It has ping pong tables, it has pool tables. The locker room's right beside it. The nutrition center's right beside it, right? So we forged that unity because guess who's down there every day getting something to eat? The players. And guess what they do when they get something to eat? They merge into the players lounge and they're all hanging around. And we've done some great things. We've created a competitive competition between groups to what we call them player lounge games. So every Wednesday at 5, we have player lounge games. So between bowling, ping pong, pool, and the video game now, we have the positions split up and they're going against each other to gain points for incentives after spring ball, whether that's whatever that may be, right? So things like that, just trying to forge that unity in fun ways, because you can do that and it not be fun or authentic as well. But we know these guys love playing Madden and 2K and NCAA and playing with themselves on that. I like doing it too.
Yeah.
But
Suddenly I
you know
want to
what I
come
mean? But
play for Tennessee.
yeah, but it's a great way to get these guys to bond and spend some quality time together doing things that they love to do outside of ball. It has to be outside of ball. They're going to be together for camp. You know what I mean? They're going to be together for the entire season. Let's keep these guys around each other and let's get them to learn each other, right? And let's do it in a fun way.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's so much fun.
That is so cool, especially when you have that many competitive guys in one room, like playing
Yeah.
all those different
Oh
sports.
man, we did it. We did it this past Wednesday night, and it's supposed to be a 30-minute thing, and it turned on about an hour. And
But they
we
loved
got
it.
we got six we got you got 6'5", 350-pound guys yelling at each other because they couldn't make a shot on the
Oh
game. And
man.
people hand clapping each other that don't even know each other. They just transferred in, and you see it happening before your
That's
eyes.
hilarious. I love it.
And I think that's the way you reach success now in a time to where that turnover is quick and it's going to be plentiful. So you got to have things like this and do things like this. And we got a lot of other things we got coming up that they don't know about that I don't want to give away just in case they see it. So some of these guys are going to watch this interview. They know I'm doing it. But we got a couple of other fun things we got planned for them after spring ball. They know about the big retreat we're doing in the summer, but that we're going to take the entire team and we're going to do a big retreat. No phones, you know what I mean? And we're going to rent out a cabin mansion or whatnot, and we're going to have a good time, and we're going to do some bonding before the season starts as well. So you got to take advantage of things like that, and during a period like this, more than ever, to build your teams and to have success in the fall.
That's awesome. Team bonding
Absolutely.
is definitely so important, especially keeping that culture alive.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Travis, thanks for being here. We got one more question for you before we let you go. If a 15 or 16-year-old athlete, so that sophomore, junior phase, and their parents are listening right now, what is one thing you'd tell them to start doing differently today?
Um, there's so many things I could share. There's so many things, but what I will share and what I will say is that you going into that junior senior year, right? And find out it is very vital and it's very important for you to find out what do you want to do. Okay. Do you really want to go to the next level and play? Let's identify that first, because everybody, you know what I've noticed since I've been away from the game a while, everybody has that period where they miss it when the play is over with, right? And high school's over with, and I want to play college sports. I want to play college sport, but they're not prepared for it. So I would sit down, find out right now, is this something you want to do? Okay, this is something you want to do. Great. All right. Well, now let's find out where we stack up. I don't think that's taken into consideration because a lot. Let's find out where we stack up against the competition. Let's find out where we are. Attend camps if you're not getting recruited, right? Attend camps. Find out what you have to do in order to get those eyes on the kid, and then I would say make the best decision based off of the student athlete, not the family, not friends, not mom and daddy, not uncle, anybody like that. Make the best decision for the student athlete, because ultimately it's you walking across the stage, it's you going to practice, it's you going to class, it's you getting up, going to meetings. It ain't mama, it ain't daddy.
Mhm.
So let's make the best decision for you. And if that decision looks different than what you anticipated and you went through those steps, well, that ain't the end result. The way the portal works nowadays, you can you can start at one place and you can end somewhere else. So I think be open-minded is key. Understand that it's process driven. Be ready to work, be ready to commit, have your character intact, right? I'm big on that. Like if your character is bad, we don't recruit you. So we don't do that. So have your character intact, and be ready to work and understand the process and what's going on. And like I said again, and I will lean on this all the time. Go where you're loved, go where you're recruited, go where you're liked. That does not have to be your end and stop, but go where you're loved and recruited, because a lot of times I see students fall in love with the name, or they fall in love with something else, and they give up on people that were giving them full scholarships to go chase something over
Mhm.
here. Go where you're loved, go where you're liked, and then base everything off that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice.
Travis, this has been incredibly insightful. What I think is honestly the most, interesting is that recruiting isn't just about talent. It's about character, preparation, and those decisions that you make long before anyone's watching on those Saturdays. For parents and athletes listening, hopefully this gives you a clear picture of what really matters at the next level and how to start preparing now. Travis Taylor from the University of Tennessee, we appreciate your time and everything you're doing to help develop young men on and off the field.
Thank you guys for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Travis.
And for our followers and everything, where can we find you?
I am on Instagram at travis.taylor, TN, Tennessee. You can find me there. I'm on X. I almost said Twitter. That's how old I am.
I think I still
I
say
say it
Twitter.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm on X as well. Same tag, Travis Taylor, Tennessee. You can find me on there again, sharing a lot of insightful information. A lot of people reach out to me since I've been doing the Fan Day Nation thing for just advice, just general speaking, wanted me to come in and talk to their student athletes, wanted me to come in and actually do some workshops. Just hadn't had the time to do that yet. Maybe I'll have the time to do that this summer, but you can find me there, and hit me up if you want any questions. I got any questions about anything.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again, and good luck on the upcoming season.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Bye.